Hi, everybody. Welcome back to SaaS Founder Stories. My name is David Brennan, and today I have Sheida with Flowjin. She's one of the founders, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about the company, and then she's going to teach us. Welcome to the show.
David, thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
So, tell me a little bit about Flowjin.
Flowjin is actually an AI powered platform for content teams. What we do is that we improve your content creation ROI and basically stretch the lifetime of your content by repurposing the existing pool of content that the business is creating into marketing assets like short form videos, blog posts, and other marketing assets that the company needs.
So, I'm a user. Tell me, walk me through me using.
Say you're a marketer in a small to medium business, and your task is to upload content on different social channels, your blog, your YouTube channel, all these channels. You have content at hand to like upload, right? The other side, you have webinars, you have podcasts that the CEO was a guest in, you have live streams, all these long form content that are being created inside the company. So what we do is that we actually help you. The product helps you to repurpose these long form content into short form videos and other things we generate, additionally for you.
Very, very cool. So, who is your ideal customer profile?
Like I would categorize our customers into four different categories. One is individual content creators, like podcasters, live streamers, and marketers who are working in a small to medium business and they want to like have an efficient way to repurpose their content. The
Mhm.
third one is like business owners who are themselves creating content for like lead generation, for basically thought leadership like content creation. And the fourth one is agencies and freelancers who are basically editing short form videos for their clients at scale.
Very cool. And so, from a sales standpoint, what's your sales process like?
We are now 100% PLG, product led growth. So like we
Cool.
have a very straightforward funnel. People find us through different channels, organic search, paid search, referral, and then they land on like a use case product page, and they will use the product for free. And like we have like some features that will limit their usage, and they will like subscribe to be able to the full-fledged features of the product.
Very cool. And so did you start just, I mean, for interest for me, did you start as a PLG motion or did you evolve into that?
Like we started with PLG. I mean, like back then, I didn't know what a PLG was, but like I knew that like people are like the people that are finding us through Google, they're already searching for like a podcast clip maker, an AI reel maker, these kind of keywords, and like we just implemented the steps to help them to get through the funnel and like move to the next step, and we saw this funnel working, so then we call it the PLG, like motion.
Very cool. That's perfect transition. So tell me a little bit more. We were talking earlier about what you wanted to teach us. Um, Floor is all yours.
For this episode, I was thinking that like what is the challenge that I want to talk about that is maybe like more useful to your listeners. And I was thinking of positioning challenge, a challenge that we had like a few months back. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna start explaining what was the situation by explaining a little bit about the market that we are in. So, if you're a content creator, let's say an individual content creator, like what you basically do is that you create the content, then you edit the content, and then you distribute and then promote the content over and over again, right? So, if we put all the platforms that are in the market into these three buckets: create, edit, promotion. Visual content creator has all the tools that they need right now in the market. Like they are using Riverside to create the content, just like what we are doing. They are
Hmm.
using either like Descript or Adobe Premiere Pro to edit the content. So like a bunch of other tools like repurpose.io, and even like manually like creating promotional content like short form videos, images, everything to promote the content afterwards. There are tools that are helping these individual content creator with these tasks, but gap in the market for marketers who don't really care about like the quality of the content in terms of like like does the content, can the content go viral or not, like is there any b-roll in the content, in the video, or
Mhm.
like they don't really care about like the virality aspect of the content, but they really care about like have a skill to post. We want the content to be quality, like don't get me wrong about that, but
Yeah.
like they care about efficiency, saving and money saving for creating content. So if you go back to the funnel, the steps, we have still like the marketer is still like creating webinars, on a bunch of like webinar hosting platforms. They're creating podcasts or they go live, and they are using these softwares for creating content. But
Hmm.
if we go to like the tools that are helping them to maybe help them to promote the content, or like basically repurpose the content, like turn one video that they have at hand and turn it
Hmm.
into like 50 other pieces of content that they can post. There is no tool in the market like that does this job perfectly. So like before understanding this like this market landscape and what is really happening, positioned ourselves in like in the AI video editor market. Because like what we only had was like we took your content and then we broke it down to like multiple short video clips that you can post on your social media. And like this was back in 2022, and even before ChatGPT time, and we were like one of the few players in the market, and we were happy about it. But like I'm sure that you also noticed that like in the past 2 years, especially after the launch of like all these amazing third party tools like LLMs, all these different things that you can stitch together and like create an AI video editor, there were a lot of players in the market that we were competing with. Because we're bootstrapping right now, some of our big competitors, there are VC backed companies, and we don't necessarily want to like like be a VC backed company because we have our own vision. But like it didn't make sense to like be in the AI video editor market. So we wanted to find another way, another need that they don't really answer, but like we are very good at. Like we are marketers professional, and we know marketing like needs, not editors and individual creators who are very good at editing their own needs. But like we found this market that there's no tool for. So this was 2 or 3 months ago that we sat down the whole team to think about what is our vision, who do we want to help, because like we are kind of like in a horizontal kind of SaaS category. Like we have built a tool, but like you can use it for anything, any kind of like video or audio production. Basically you can make a short form video of like a games like a recording or replay and put it on social media. So there are a lot of people that can use Flowjin, but like we
Hmm.
were thinking of who we want to focus on, and that's like that was the solution for us.
Once you figured out who you're going to focus on, what was your next steps? Did you look at product as a way, or what was your next thoughts in the process?
To reflect this repositioning aspect on and also the website, the pages itself, we first
Hmm.
started with like talking to this target market, like all the marketers that we know, social media marketers that are like a little bit that like their day-to-day job is a bit different from like a content marketer, like editors who are helping marketing teams. Like we talked with these different personas to validate if this is actually a real problem. Like the problem for
Hmm.
them is to create enough content at scale with the least amount of time, and like you reuse what they already are creating into like other content for their channels, basically to do lead generation, to close sales with these content being posted regularly. So after talking to these people, thing was like signing and doing all our messagings all over again on our homepage. And then right now we're creating a lot of use case product pages for our target persona, like how can you repurpose a webinar and why you should do it, and how our product is
Hmm.
helping you to do that, or
Yeah.
helping you to basically we're building an engine that you can all the content that you are producing in a month into it, and then we help you to not only repurpose, like for example the live stream that you just posted for announcing the big launch that you have for your product, but also turn
Hmm.
it into an email or email update for your product to your users. Also repurpose it into a LinkedIn post, a 5-day LinkedIn post of what are the important features that you are saying this week. Like we
Hmm.
are what we are doing is building this engine to help you to say all the things that you want to say, and all the messages that you want to convey into a long form content, and then we will do the legwork for you to repurpose it to other things. So that's how the product pages are being built one by one right now.
Quick question for you. Do you use your own product?
I recently have started to use it because I'm not the persona of creating a lot of long form content. Whenever I was a guest on a podcast, or all the other places that I was speaking, even just for my own hobby, I was creating clips out of the shows that I really liked. That was the main use case of me using Flowjin. But I what I'm doing is that I'm creating weekly LinkedIn live events talking about different things, and I'm turning them into clips with Flowjin to post on our other channels like TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn as well.
I think that's so smart, first of all, because one of the biggest challenges, I mean, we see it all the time, is processing content that's created so that it's usable across multiple channels. And I think this is going to be one of those things as people really adopt this new communication style. It's going to be really huge. I think it's going to replace a lot of like the email, phone call type sales, because you're going to create this content that goes out and people will interact with it. And that's how you're going to actually connect with a lot of the people who are your ideal customers. So very cool. Love it. What's the one thing that you'd like to leave our audience with? And final thing as well, what can we help you with in the future?
Love to talk about experimenting in our marketing efforts. So there is a lot of discussions about what channels works for SaaS businesses. I think some of them are very obvious and common, like SEO, maybe paid search. I think one thing that is really important is to understand how is your user actually, what are they doing in their daily basis, what is their workflow. Can you maximize the value for them in the lens of marketing? So with that thinking, I came into into a conclusion that we have to integrate our software to the tools that they are already using in the steps before and after. We want to with that, what are growth plans that we want to
Hmm.
integrate with webinar hosting platforms, and live streaming platforms, all the places that the content is already being created on. you know like Obviously scheduling platforms, the ones that like help you to redistribute the content again and again. Partnerships was something that we were always thinking about, just having our own marketing efforts to bring us customers, but not really thinking about what about integrating or partnering with other people that we can use their demand and their traffic to also generate revenue. So that was one thing that I think we oversaw, and
Hmm.
that's what we want to do in the next year. So maybe like if you haven't thought of it as well, like this is a sign for you to like, think if, it makes sense for your business or not.
Very cool. Okay, well, thank you very much, and it was a pleasure having you on the show, and I can't wait to chat with you again.
It was a very like I really liked it, and yeah, thank you for you, David, and also like your listeners as well. Thank you for listening to this.